Look at this mess. Let me explain something here. This is still part of building the MST CFX WSDC1. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop this real quick, kind of clean this up, and then I'll show you what I've been working on. All right, so I got the motor, and I went with the Hobby Wing Fusion Quick Run 1200 kV using the stock pinion with the transmission. I've laid these pieces here and on both sides. This actually elevates the floor of that interior to get it to the proper level. Weather's been kind of crazy. We've had a lot of rain as of late, and the biggest obstacle is I just could not find the right color paint. I found it, and I got it yesterday. Just haven't had the opportunity to spray it. I'm going to try to get the shop heated up enough to where I can do it today and start putting the base coat on that stuff so I can get this thing buttoned up. But something's missing. When I got this thing together yesterday, or together, period, not just yesterday, pardon me, waiting on the different stuff to come in, I'm thinking to myself, it's looking good, but there's just something missing. It needs a little something more. And I didn't want to go hanging a bunch of unnecessary stuff on the body. You know, no roof rack, definitely, because I believe a roof rack would actually take away from these pieces. So, and didn't want to do a spare tire carrier on the back. Again, the truck's looking great. Just needed something else with it. So between myself and a good friend of mine who has the capabilities of doing this, we came up with something that I really think is going to make them stand apart, especially this truck and the Class 1 rig that he's using for his. And so here we go. Never done this before. Never had one before. But this is my interpretation of a teardrop overland / camper or whatever. This is a 3D print. The idea was there. He found it. Nothing has been added to it. Everything you see on this thing so far is what was available in the print file. I'm talking the box on the front here, the roof rack, the steps, the propane tank, all of it. Everything was there. And now this thing isn't complete. As you can see, I still have to put the windows in it. But for the most part, I'd say it's about 85% done. Very cool trailer. So again, this is 100% 3D printed. And when he printed them, the main body of these things were printed in gray. Now, if I'm not badly mistaken, I believe he just assembled his in gray. I got this one here and decided to paint it. And the only paint that I had that would actually look good on, I was kind of thinking, you know, paint it to match that green truck with that green paint. No. And so I wanted to be able to use it behind several different rigs. So I went with a neutral color. This is a Rust-Oleum cottage white. And it isn't white at all. It's more of a tan. I know it's not going to pick it up very well, but it's more of a tan. And yeah, figured I'd do the gloss on this, kind of mimic, you know, RV panels on those bodies, on those RVs that you see these days. Hardly ever see anything that's like a flat. So that is what I went with as far as that goes. Now, the decals are, of all things, some that were left over from when I built my Rift. And what I did is these long pieces here, I know that fender's in the way, so you really can't see all of it, but you get the general idea. And so what I did is I cut these away from the bigger pieces. And then instead of running them the way they should have been running, I inverted them, started them down here at this corner. Of course, it has a screw going through it. Didn't realize it was going to happen that way. run them up. And I still have a little bit I have to cut off here. You see that little bit of plastic sticking up past it. And then turned the remainders down on the back. And again, a little bit too much with the plastic. I'm hoping that'll go away with some heat. Ties in everything on the side to the back. Then what I did is I took an Axial logo, put it there. Now I'm not saying this is nothing to do, and it's not affiliated with Axial at all, but it needed a brand of some sort, so I put that on there, and I plan on putting one on the front as well. And then the BX10, this little box, as far as the trailer itself goes, is roughly 9.5 to 9 3/4 inches long. Well, the Rift is based off an RBX10 chassis. So what I did is I had these stickers here, and I just cut the R off, stuck it on, and I figured, well, we'll just call it BX10, you know. And so it's got that there, and on the other side as well. Super, super cool little kit. We had to get the hinges for the doors. There's only 4 hinges used on this thing. We had to buy a pile of them just to get them. So you got 2 back here, 2 up here on this front box, and they're functional. Now these doors here are also functional. They're on a hinge system that is that was designed into the print. Again, I got to put a couple pieces of scrap Lexan in there, get those holes filled in. All right, so I don't have the other door on the other side open, but it does open, and still some detailed stuff that I need to do back here. I need to paint these sides here. Yeah, I mean, it's just slick as hell, man. I like it. It's gonna look great behind that truck, or any trail truck that you put behind it. I think it would just look awesome. So his leaf sprung, and all of that is printed. Every bit of it's printed. Now, as you can tell, there's not an axle that runs from one side to the other, a solid axle on the hubs of the wheels. They have their own individual, Lord, that tire's out just a little bit, the own individual, I call it a hub pod, as you see here. And it's got a bearing on the outside. There's also another one on the inside, ties through. And then there's a 12mm hex that you run, once you place your wheel, run these screws back into, and it keeps everything there. Still some adjustments to be made, but there you can see this one. Very neat setup. Very neat. It's got a little bit of travel. Of course, my big ass hand in the way. There's a spring. Where's the hanger at? Hanger's on the back, so we're not hanger, but you can see it's got a little fair amount of travel. I took one of the leaves out. It's supposed to be 3. But for no more than what this is, it's going to work out perfect. Pay no attention to the paint on the bottom. I don't care about the underside. There's the attachment points for the frame to the box. I still have to put the actual hitch on the front end to tie it to the truck, but super freaking cool, man. Now the tires and wheels are just extras that I had here. These are the actual wheels that are supposed to be on that MST kit, and I didn't use them, and they're going to be perfect on this. And these are just some old knockoff RC 4-wheel drive dirt grabbers or whatever they are, but got a pile of them, so these fit well. They're not real heavy, and give it that scale tread appearance on it. So I mean, just a kick-ass little rig, man. I like it. Still a lot of little detail, nitpicky crap I want to do. I'm kicking around the idea of maybe doing lights. I don't know yet. And if I do put lights on it, do I do it where it's self-contained on this with a battery pack, or do I attach it to the truck itself? All of this stuff is still up in the air, but little detail crap that I've got to do. Some scale accessories up here, put another logo up here on this portion. Here you go, man. Let me get it. Let me put the truck back here on it again, and even though it's not actually hooked up, we'll take another look, and you guys can let me know what you think. All right, so there it is, man. But anyway, there you go, guys. Hope you're doing well, and hope you're enjoying everything. Take good care. We'll catch you on the next video, okay? Later.